I came from England and I've been in Scotland for about 25 years. And I am a retired university lecturer in economics.
I was born and raised in the south of the U.S., lived in the U.S. all my life, and mostly on the East Coast, and worked for an airline until I was 55, took early retirement, and moved here to be with him.
Great. And how do you two meet?
Well, there's two stories. There's the truth and there's what he says. We met, with one thing we do agree on, we met in Manchester at a Bears event. And we were both there.
Can you remember the date?
It was Easter.
No, it wasn't.
All right, it wasn't. No, I can't.
May 1st, 2004.
May, that's right, okay, fine. And we were, I met a hunk coming out of a pub and said, and I don't normally do this, "You're gorgeous." And the hunk just brushed past me and went off. Later on, I saw him in a bar, chatted to him, found out he was flying regularly to Scotland, and we met and took it from there. That's my view of what happened, which is the truth.
Yes, the man who can't remember the date. We did meet at the Bear event in Manchester on the 1st of May 2004, just before he was to leave Manchester to come back to Scotland. And we exchanged email addresses and struck up a relationship through email and telephone, and then I started coming to visit.
How do you feel that on Tuesday you're going to be able to convert it into full marriage?
Well, it's an administrative procedure on Tuesday because we're already civil partnered. It'll be quite straightforward to cash it in and get an upgrade, but it's then gets the title of marriage, which people understand and gives us equal weight with other people, and that I think is appropriate. Bit annoyed that it's taken this long to do it, but that's ungrateful because I'm pleased that we can do it.
I'm not entirely sure what's involved. It's basically a bureaucratic procedure, but it is pushing us over the finish line to equality, that we are finally the same as everyone else.
And do you think it will make a difference to how you feel, or marriage, or...
I don't know. I was thinking about this last night when we were in bed before we went to sleep. I was thinking, what does this mean to me? And yes, it's a statement. It means that I'm now the same as everyone else, that our relationship has the same weight and the same name as everybody else. But to me personally, doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make any difference about the way I feel about him. I couldn't love him anymore, no matter what the name of the relationship is. But I think I'll feel a bit more invested in the name of the relationship. The legality of the relationship will mean a bit more.
Those shackles will be a bit tight.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all right. They still let the blood flow to your feet.
I didn't think that being civil partnered would make any difference. He was very keen. And I thought, well, we're committed to each other. Why would changing the name mean anything? And becoming civil partner did make a difference to me. I felt different afterwards. It may be the case with marriage. I can't now quite imagine that. I think it's more of a, in a sense, civil rights thing, just the naming of parts. It's not separate but equal. It's equal. And that then, I think is right, and I'm happy to go through with this process on that basis. I think, I can't imagine I'll feel different, but then I didn't think I'd feel different when I did the civil partnership, so maybe I will. But we're not making, I think the marriage will legally have existed once we've gone through this process from the date we were civil partnered. And that was the date we made the fuss. That was the date we had the party and, the official stood there and we had our friends, and people came from across the Atlantic, and people came up from England, and that was what I considered to be quite a formal and important occasion. And I don't think we would have had a religious ceremony anyway, so the fact we were barred from having a religious ceremony didn't make any difference to us. This upgrade, handing in a piece of paper and getting back something called marriage, is important, but it's of symbolic importance. I don't think it's of, for us, essential or spiritual importance. I don't mean that in a religious sense.
I don't know until it happens. It's
true.
One of those things that you really can't anticipate what it will do to your emotions at the time.
Are you going to have a ceremony?
No, where it is the most bare bones of handing in 2 pieces of paper, showing them our passports, proving that we live at the same address, deciding whether we want to be called husbands and husband and husband, or nothing. And I don't know what the other wife and wife. I think spouse. That's it.
We could be spouses, husbands
wives,
or wives,
or nothing,
or some combination.
Yeah, or they do let you have no designation, which is fair. But I think we've agreed to be husbands, haven't we? Then going off and having a brunch, which is what we're going to do with 15 friends. I'm pleased that in the United Kingdom, 3 of the 4 bits have now got it together to accept that our relationship is equal to other people's relationship, and they've agreed that will be so. I'm sad about Northern Ireland. Not surprised, but sad. I mean, in a sense, Britain is joining with the civilized countries of the world, and I'm glad that we're in that camp, rather than in the other camp, which is still far too large.
I think finally I will feel like I'm a full invested member of society, and that our relationship is given the same credibility and the same worthiness as any other relationship, any other couple. And I think that's a very, very important statement, that we are just as worthy as everyone else. And I think that's a very important message to send, particularly to those places where even being gay is a threat to life. So I think it is incumbent upon us to celebrate that, and that's what we will be doing.
Yes. Religions, the common ones in Britain at least, all have a rather odd and peculiar view about marriage. I blame Henry VIII. I think he was, he decided to go off and form a not Protestant, not Catholic religion, and the Catholics decided to stick without divorce, and the and the religions that allow several wives, The thing that amuses me is when people say, "Oh well, marriage has always been the same. It's between one man and one woman, and that's what Christ or blah, whoever you happen to believe in, said, and that's where it is, and it's written there. It's always been that way." And this is patent nonsense. So I'm afraid I'm not surprised that religions have decided that they don't want to get on the side of the angels, if I can put it that way, and get on board equal marriage. But, it's up to them. I mean, if they don't let me in, I don't want to be there.
I just don't understand bigotry. I just don't understand it. And that there are religions that pick and choose the points in their scripture to live by and ignoring the rest. I have a very difficult time with that, and I just don't understand that, to choose, in the case of Christians, certain passages of the Bible and use those as a club to beat people over the head with while ignoring other parts of it. I just don't understand that.
And they use the Old Testament in preference to the New, which, if they're Christian, you can hardly understand. However, it's up to them. There's some relatively nice religions that are relatively sane, yes, but there's lots of parentheses around those sets of statements. Really, I find that organised religion is usually so difficult to deal with that I like not to think about it.
Where I come from, there's a saying: "We're not where we ought to be. We're not where we're gonna be, but at least we ain't where we was."
After you get married, anything that you want to do or celebrate in any way? Not just, in the...
we've got
to do a honeymoon or something?
Win the lottery. Well, that's firmly in the plan.
Yes, that was in your plan. You buy a ticket, I don't bother. We are going to have a wonderful honeymoon. We're going to go...
On a
cruise with my mother, because it's Christmas time, and this is an important time for her. She's lost her husband. I lost my father this year, and this will be the first Christmas without him, so we're taking her away. And I think that we should probably both be psychoanalyzed. Oedipus Schmiedibus, what's it matter as long as you love your mother?
I'm going on my honeymoon with my mother-in-law. Insert pity here.